Yo, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to back to live streams. First one in like 10 days. Be up, everyone. That's in you already. And we're here for a cracking show. After the Boundary, episode 43. India, scintillating on fire. Experience rules. Of course, New Zealand beating um, the inexperience of the Proteas, and then Tim David comes to the rescue of Australia. Let's get straight into it all. But first, some comments. Of course, as always, Chelsea fan, always here every single minute. Keep be up yourself. Yeah, do smash that like button. Yes, money. Be up. Um, Be up, Stephen. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. And yeah, a lot to get into. Uh, of course, like I say, I think we'll start off on one that hmm, yeah, we'll start off with this one. India on fire. I think that's the best way to describe what India have done in their test series against um, England. They've been absolutely sensational since that first test. Um, yeah, but let's get straight into it. Um, Let me just get up the, the whole thing. And they are flying. Yeah, they are. They definitely are. So let me share my screen. There we go. Okay. So yeah, as you guys can see there, for England, 28 runs, won the first test. Big shock in the whole cricket world. Of course, on that same day, it was West Indies beating um, um, beating Australia in a test match. Drawing that series, that feels like a lifetime ago, but it's only been um, about just about 3 weeks. But it's been a horrible time since then for England. Um, Two test match losses with a combined of 500 and 540 runs combined, both of test. Um, so it's been a mad one. Um, but there's one man that has stood out from the Indian camp. That man is Chaiswal. 209? 209 in that second test, of course, rescuing them. Shipman Gill 104. But then we come to the uh, third one. And that is Jadeja in the first innings, but I believe in the second innings, 214. So was it 204 in the second one? Yeah, I was 209. So 400 plus in just two test matches. A massive shout out to Chaiswal as well as Shipman Gill, who's also been good so far. And that's a disrespect, Jadeja. Also, um, done well, 112, and the Rohit Sharma also got 100. So big contributions, but England did lose. That what this is the third one, yes, third one. This is the this is the third test. Big contribution from Ben Duckett, as well as I believe nobody in the second innings. So it's been so far so good for India since that first test. Um, India's second, well, England first innings, not really anyone stepping up. So yeah, no, it's not been the best. Um, but what I- England have a lifeline in this fourth test. Reason is, news broke. I believe Jadeja is out, or sorry, Ashwin is out, and Bumrah has been rested for the fourth test. I believe, yeah, there we go. So Carroll set to miss, Bumrah set to miss, um, uh, Mukesh Kumar is going to replace him. Is there anyone? Yeah, of course, it will be a fit Siraj, but it's so Ashwin is there, yeah. Just Bumrah and Rahul. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. They have been given a big lifeline. Uh, India just too good for us. Because England always let us down. Okay, I get you. I get you, but still think. Um, India, they have enough firepower. Yes, they do have, but it's a big, like, no Ashwin. Well, sorry, no Carroll or Bumrah is a big let off, but they should have enough for this one. We have we finally to get it back on streams. Um, so I'm saying he he told the captain of the Titanic to stop moving, to turn around, and his name is Manny. How are you, Manny?
I didn't say anything to Captain Smith. I sadly wasn't born then. But thanks a lot for informing me about the stream. I'm sorry I'm late. I want to say big up to Mr. B as well, because we were actually supposed to do a stream on his channel to talk about to preview the game. And, the test is tomorrow and we have a lot to talk about. And it's. It's kind of sad, it really is, to see how England just folded. But
Yeah,
Mr. B and I were basically talking about how this is an example of you know about how Bazball just can't be a substitute for sensible play at times, but also you can't use Bazball as an excuse for playing some really stupid, risky shots. And in addition, I just think the spinners as well, especially with Ashwin Ravichandran coming back from his family emergency, I think they just smelt blood and they hunted in packs. And Bumrah obviously was booming, for want of a nicer word, and there was nothing that England could do. Now, of course, the question is, how will India replace Jasprit Bumrah? And do they bring in a fourth spinner or a second seamer? Now, if they were to bring in a fourth spinner, that would definitely it. If we take a look at the spinners that India have, Jadeja is obviously classed as an all-rounder. Ashwin
Yeah.
can definitely bat a bit.
Mm,
Kuldeep isn't
definitely
much of a
can.
batsman, huh?
Yeah, no, Ashwin can. He can. He definitely
That's what I'm
can.
saying. He can definitely
Mm.
bat a bit. Um, in fact, he can bat full stop. He's got a couple of Test centuries, if memory serves me right. And he actually wanted to be a batsman growing up, but as he grew taller, I think maybe his bowling got a bit better. Go figure. 500 up for him. Top man. But Akshar Patel can also hit, but he's not really that type of a batsman who can make a big score. So whoever they bring in obviously would be expected to add something to the attack and also possibly try and maybe improve the batting a little bit, although Bumrah can definitely swing his arms quite well. Um, News from the England touring party, mind you, is that Ben Stokes could consider bowling again. Now, he has been bowling in the
Mm.
nets. He has been bowling in the nets, and his vice captain Ollie Pope was speaking about how he looks 100%, how he feels good, and Ben Stokes says he feels good. But bowling in the nets is one thing, bowling in the Test match is another. Chalk and cheese, as we would say. And I really don't know if Stokes will be that brave to bring himself into the attack and bowl if if things really aren't going well. Because the idea is that if he brings himself on to bowl and if he ends up bowling, then that means that England could drop one of the seamers and bring Shoaib Bashir back into the side. And news is that both Mark Wood and James Anderson will be rested to give Ollie Robinson a chance. I really can't see the logic in that. This is a must win game for England. They need to at least draw to have some hope of drawing the series with a win in the final test. If they win this fourth test, they can take the series to a final test. But running the risk of dropping Wood and Anderson both would be rather foolhardy. And asking Ben Stokes to try to do that, if he were to sort of bring himself on to bowl and his bowling were not to have the penetration that it normally had, it would be a gamble that would backfire really, really badly. And that's one thing which kind of worries me.
Yeah, no. And also, let's say England do bowl first. What impact could that have on his batting going to the fourth innings, or even, yeah, going to the fourth innings if you are bowling first, and you have to go chase, and even chasing down the first score may be India set. So it does sound good, but very, very risky.
England need to win the toss and bat first. No question about it. If they're going to be brave enough to pick three spinners, which I probably believe they will, they do have to make sure that they bat better and set themselves. At least them give themselves a good first innings and try and bowl India out. It's going to
Yeah,
be very difficult because, in addition, with Jaiswal, as you mentioned, going great guns, scoring that huge double century where he equaled Wasim Akram's record for most sixes in that innings, the biggest priority will obviously be to curtail that opening partnership. Virat Kohli, of course, congratulations to him. His wife has given birth to their second child. Does he
yeah,
come back into the team? I don't believe so.
no,
And that's what makes these permutations all the more difficult. But at the moment, I think you can agree with me when it comes to Jaiswal. That stint of his in the IPL with the Royals has really seen him, improve his batting, and he's really, scoring his runs so rapidly. If anything, he actually is the epitome of what Brendan McCullum and Ben Stokes want to see in baseball. Innovative stroke play, rapid run scoring. It's as if, India are beating us at our own game. And so to even consider dropping both Wood and Anderson and picking Ollie Robinson in to try to and ask him to try to bowl at this in-form left-hander is beyond irresponsible. And let's not forget that India's other batsmen, like Shubman Gill and a few others, have also stood up to be counted. So whatever happens, England need to go in with a mindset that they need go in with a mindset that this test is a test that has to be won. No ifs, no buts, no walnuts. And how they select their team and how they perform will be key. If they lose the toss and are, asked to field first, God save the Poms. That's all I can say. And I think Chelsea fans have just said it. England will need to bat for their lives. And that means Joe Root, sir, I love you as a player, mate. Easily England's greatest ever, but you are not a baseball player. Go back to playing your sensible game. Let the team bat around you. You've got the skills. You know you can do it. Just
Also,
play your game.
you spoke there about batting first, and all the three tests, team is batted first as one on three. So there's definitely something in there to maybe read into it. But this this game is like that first test of the Ashes where England were 2-0 down. If Australia won this test match, they won the Ashes. It's 3-0. It's hammering. It's a must win game. This game, it's exactly like this. But well, instead of being 2-0 down, you're 2-1 down. So, yeah, no, it's really coming down to this one. It's being played at Ranchi. Where is that? Ranchi. Where in India is that? Um, uh,
It is a
it,
city in the state of Jharkhand where Mahendra Singh Dhoni hails from.
but like IPL team wise, which one is it? Like, if you thinking, and because it's central, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't believe Ranchi has an IPL team. And if you remember,
No,
one of
but
our
like, what IPL team is close to it?
hmm,
Um, if I don't know. Let's see. Where? Yeah, it's like dead center in the middle of India. Well,
uh,
not dead center. It's near
you know,
Kolkata. It's near
yeah. So
Kolkata.
So Kolkata could be probably be the closest.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah. It's in the same almost region, I believe. West Bengal,
yeah.
just outside the West Bengal
Yes,
area
but
near.
one of our old panelists, Ben Samuel, hails from Jharkhand, and because he doesn't have an IPL team, he was a huge fan of the Chennai Super Kings because Dhoni, of course, was slash is the captain of that team. So
Yeah, he is of course still playing another season. Believe what, seventh season? No, right?
this is like, see, listen. I know people say I say that when you if you're good enough, you are young enough, and if you're still capable of playing, then go for it. But the problem is, most of his innings are pretty poor innings, and then once in a while he has a really good knock, and the team ends
Yeah,
up benefiting. And I think you know there will be a time when even he decides to call it a day. Maybe if this upcoming season he doesn't do well, then it could be his last. I would have liked to have seen him retire with another title for CSK, and for him to say, that's it, I don't need to do anymore. But Mr. B and I were talking about it on one of his streams. Sometimes the desire to play or manage, it's a bit like, a drug of sorts. Once you have it, you're so addicted to it, you can't kick it.
yeah. But I wanna quickly talk about move on from this. Before we move on, prediction um for the fourth test.
I just think that with India's spinners being a lot more accomplished and more experienced than England's spinners, even if we go with a three-man spin attack, we're still going to struggle. And if we do drop both Wood and Anderson and bring Ollie Robinson in, then we're going to be on a hiding to nothing with Jaiswal and Gill in the form that they are. Even without Virat Kohli, they're still putting up big totals, you can imagine. And they haven't even considered recalling Cheteshwar Pujara, who was doing brilliantly in county cricket and is also doing well in the Ranji Trophy in India. So sadly, I'm afraid I'll have to go with another Indian win, and I think, yeah, it might be a lot closer, hopefully, than the debacle at Rajkot, but I just don't think that we will have enough to win this series. I'm afraid, and this is going to be a big learning curve for Bazball. Simple as that.
Okay. Um, I don't usually back England, but I think England win this one.
Ooh.
Just, just how it's set. Like England down and out. India without Bumrah, without Raul. It's just set for England to win down and out, come back, and then for fifth test we all know what's happening. India's going to probably win, but maybe England do stand a chance, but we'll see. But
From your
yeah,
lips to God's ears, but from your lips to God's ears.
yeah. But a big topic to be discussed. Experience will always rule, and that is what we saw when New Zealand absolutely thrashed the inexperience of the Proteas. Of course, this New Zealand side have now broken that record that Hoodoo against the Proteas in New Zealand haven't won a test against the Proteas. This New Zealand side have done it. But unlike the first test, they were faced they were given a tough time. But in the end, when you when you are 200 for four, and you get bowled out for 235, just shows where the problem lies. And that is unfortunately the way it was for the Proteas. Um, but it's sad to see that record come to an end. But I do think we can take positives um, from it. Of course, massive shout out to David Bendingham. 110 runs. He was one of the guys that declined. Well, I believe he was the only one that declined the SAT 20 contract. Said no, I wanna play this test match, help my country win. It got close, but just too much quality. Um, so yeah, but I'll hand it over to Manny for a quick quick thoughts, and then I'm just going to go fetch myself a drink to prepare for this absolute cooking I'm going to give. Get your popcorn ready. Um, put on the phone
Exactly.
while Manny gives you, and then
Yeah,
I will
well,
be back in a sec.
I just wonder who you're going to cook because, well, fortunately, you're old enough to play with matches, so it is what it is. All I will say is, Graham Smith, this is on you. The arrogance that you showed to prioritize the SAT 20 ahead of this test series has now seen this group of spirited, talented cricketers effectively thrown to the wolves. Hang your head in shame, man. Seriously. Hang your head in shame. And of course, taking a look at the scorecard, I think Hanno said it quite brilliantly. When you are at 200 odd for four, you do not losing those wickets in the clump to Phillips, O'Rourke, and company really set them back. But there have been some gems that have been unearthed. We've got to give credit to Dane Piet, I think that's how you pronounce it. A nice article was out on Cricket Info on how he was making his comeback and his swan song, and he certainly proved that he was still capable. The sad part is that with other bowlers well ahead of him in the pecking order, I do not see him coming back into the picture. So basically, like the likes of Martin Bicknell and Sean Udall for England, Dane Piet will have had a wonderful sort of welcome back and farewell to the South African team. And now he can go back to his new, happier life in America with no regrets. And I certainly don't necessarily see him returning to South Africa to even to play in the SAT20 because I don't know if he'll find an opportunity. And the stability that would be provided, but with his life in America would certainly be too good to turn down. So well done to him. And of course, as Hanno has mentioned, David Bedingham, very eager to forge a career with England and signed for Durham as a coal pack. Brexit wrecked his dreams, but now he's been given this opportunity and now he's done well. I want to see this guy given a good chance to actually crack the Proteas team proper. Because with returns like this, if he is left out, regardless of whoever it may be for whom he's left out, it would be absolutely disgraceful. Simple as that. There have been several players who have certainly shown their skills and shown their commitment in many ways. Of course, I mentioned Piet. He had a five for in the in New Zealand's first innings. Obviously, in the second innings, once Kane got going, he proved that he was still able. 7 consecutive Test hundreds. What a player he is! What an absolute legend this man has been for New Zealand cricket. Where far and away, usurping the likes of Crowe, McCullum, and company as New Zealand's best ever batsman. But South Africa can go away with a measure of pride, given that they played as hard as they could and certainly gave New Zealand some scary moments. The most that could be expected from this team. Again, if I never ever see a T20 tournament take preference over Test cricket again, it will be too soon. And Graham Smith, as I've said, really needs to carry the can for this. And again, some of these players like Bedingham, maybe I don't think Piet will be in contention, but some of these other players, especially the younger ones, they now need to be in contention for selection to the Proteas test team. If I don't see Bedingham becoming a fixture in that team in the near future, it will be an absolute disgrace. And that's me done. Hanno.
Okay. Um. Yeah. No, man. Like you said, I think we take a lot of positives. I'm just hoping um, that we do take some of these players um, to our squad. The likes of, if you look, probably not Dane Patterson. For me, needs to cut a bit, but Sean Van Berg, bit past it now. But guys like Dane Pitts, Teppo Moreki, youngster, I believe. Um, Run the Swats. I just hope these guys that have played in this test match don't be unforgotten. Um, so That's what I hope. That's my main thing. What I hope. Um, so yeah, that I am really just hoping that this doesn't become that we don't forget about them because they have helped us out massively. Um, Again, I get the decision, but I'm like, come on, man. I get the decision, brings you money. The SAT 20 is our source of money. Without that, we probably go bankrupt a few years ago. So yeah, yep. BX Ghana 81 off topic, but come on, you Gunners. Well, not come on, you Gunners. Come on, Porto up the Porto. Um, yeah, Porto all the way. So yeah, man, Porto all the way. Um,
I'm so
yeah.
glad I'm not doing an Arsenal watch along on this channel ever again. I remember the last
Ah,
time we played.
Sporting.
Yes, Portuguese
Sport,
opposition. Gonçalves from the
sport,
halfway line, and Ramsdale couldn't save a single penalty. I remember everything.
Sporting.
Don't
Oh.
get any ideas, but
Second leg. If Porto do me a favor and only lose like by a goal or draw this one, well, this game at the Emirates or away.
I believe we're playing at the Estadio Dragao, and then in the first leg, and then coming back to the Emirates for the second.
Ooh, ooh, Porto. If Porto are 2-1 up,
The,
then
this is
bring him.
this
Bring.
is effectively the Fabio Vieira derby, and apparently he's been used as um, a sort of an insider. But
What
you
do
know
you
what?
know?
Porto have got the Portuguese number one, Diogo Costa. I don't rate him personally. I think he's too erratic. They've got the aging, creaking Pepe in their team, and
Wait, no, respect Pepe. Legend. But no, I got you. Yeah. But if Porto can do something for me, if they go 2-0 or 2-1 up after this first leg, be there. Next, what? When do you play them again? When's the second leg? Second leg is
I couldn't
in
tell you.
March.
Yeah, I
Mid
couldn't
March?
tell you off the top of my head. And
Yeah. 12th of
that's the
March?
spirit, BX.
Let's do it. 12th of March, we will be there. We will be there. We will be there. Um, but yeah, again, this just shows, I think the main one, over experience really over anything. So yeah, um, and if you have experience, you will usually come out on top. But speaking of New Zealand, let's move over to the T20 that's happened. Tim David to the rescue for the Aussies. I didn't catch it, but I just want to speak quickly about it. Of course, also today you guys can see the Afghanistan defeating Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka. What a magnificent one for them. What's the series? Sri Lanka won the T20, but what a win for them. So big for them to win there in um in Sri Lanka. Last ball, Tim David steps up, needs to face. Don't know who he needed to face. Um, um, who bowled the last over? Let me see. Maybe I can
I
get
will.
something.
It was Tim Southey, the Test captain, who bowled it. They needed four to
From
win off the
Salvi.
last ball. Yep.
Four
Uh,
to win. Who do you want to face? Of course, it's Tim David. Um, yeah, Tim David rescues it. Well, I think the main talking point it's not that Australia won. It's that Australia lost, I believe, 4 or 5 T20s have considered 200 plus. Well, four, and they've won three. So, Manny, my, do you think it's a concern that Australia are conceding 200 plus runs, having to chase that, or having to chase 200 plus, or defend 200 plus but winning marginally? Do you think that's a concern, but or is it not because you're still getting over the line?
Well, ideally, you don't want to concede too many runs, but it's the nature of the beast, Hanno. When you've got a batting lineup that includes the likes of Finn Allen, Devon Conway, Rachin Ravindra, Glenn Phillips, Mark Chapman, and company. Don't know too much about Josh Clarkson. Santner can perhaps hit a little bit. New Zealand did have a fairly long tail, longer than desired. So obviously the onus fell on the top order batsman to really step up and make some counted. And of course, with the former Bangalore boy, Rachin Ravindra, that's exactly what he did. 6 sixes in that blistering half century of his. 2 sixes for Devon Conway, 3 for Finn Allen and his breezy 32 off 17. Um, so as long as the batsmen are doing, when you have batsmen in such form, they can be expected to do quite well. I take a look at the economy rates, and obviously Maxwell is a part timer. You can't really expect him to do too much. And Cummins was also literally hit around the park mercilessly, it has to be said. And Zampa also taken to the cleaners. So it's a case of these batsmen just being in good form. And the problem is that that in T20 cricket, the batsmen are always going to be more inclined to play off the front foot. So any haphazard shot can be hit with the field inside the circle. It'll go over the field, and you'll help yourself to some runs. And obviously, when you have those aggressive batsmen, no matter how well you bowl, um, more often than not, you can be expected to be slaughtered. Only on some given days, if you are able to get your lines right and really be aggressive and force the batsman to not go on the front foot too much, you can get your reward. But again, with Australia, you just take a look at them. I mean, Southey was hit around the park. Adam Milne was completely shown no mercy. Santner and Sodhi were also ripped apart. Only Lockie Ferguson comes away with some credit there with an economy rate of just less than 6. But then Travis Head, David Warner, Mitch Marsh, Glenn Maxwell, Josh Inglis, and then Tim David, who's now literally becoming the team's finisher. I mean, I've seen him finish some innings for the Mumbai Indians in the IPL. It's no surprise that he's been preferred to several other batsmen to play in this T20 side. And now he seems to have gotten the hang of being able to finish it. So Australia have the batsman, and obviously Warner is in the last legs of his career. His replacement will obviously have a tough act to will
Just one
have
sec.
big shoes to fill. Yeah,
Just give me 1 sec. I'll be back in a sec.
take your time. And again, the scorecard is right in front of you. If you can possibly, I mean, I don't know if you can see the whole thing, but Marsh, Maxwell, David, 12 sixes between them, 3 for David Warner himself. You've got those batsmen in such aggressive form. They're obviously going to score very rapidly and make sure that they um, take the game away from the bowlers. Now, back to the question. As I've said, it is a bit of a concern, and obviously, you know, the Aussie bowlers should look at their the lines and lengths with which they're bowling, and obviously look to try to do much better. But with Australia's batsmen in such fine form, I think Australia do have something to fall back on. And even with New Zealand, you also have to consider that these top 3 or 4 batsmen are easily, the form batsmen. are easily some of the best batsmen in the world when it comes to T20 cricket or limited overs cricket. And so they obviously had, an incentive to do as well as they did, and that's exactly what they did. So I think Australia will look to try and improve their bowling. They will obviously look to try and, you know, um, look at their lines and lengths and see where they can possibly improve. As for the batsmen, it's as you were, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this T20 series to see how it pans out. As for a brief mention of Afghanistan Sri Lanka winning by 3 runs, a brilliant game, obviously. Wanindu Hasaranga, player of the series, all-round effort. But again, T20 just needs one big innings and a few people playing around it. And with Gurbaz playing as well as he did for Afghanistan and Hazratullah Zazai contributing at the top of the order, there really was only going to be one way Afghanistan would go, and that would be posting a big total. Patirana,
Yeah,
Dhananjaya, 2 wickets each. And then an exciting game, Kamindu Mendes very nearly snatching it for Sri Lanka, but Afghanistan holding firm, holding firm. So Afghanistan are still continuing to improve and proving that they belong in the international cricket scene. But I did answer your question. I think Australia will look at their bowling, but they shouldn't be overtly concerned because the way their batsmen are playing, they have the confidence of being able to overhaul any total, and especially with David Warner in the prolonged Indian summer that he's enjoying, he wants to go out on a high, and I think that could very well be what happens for him. Watch this space.
yeah, but we see their record broken. 415, highest aggregate score, so record broken. But on Tim David, I still think it's a bit overrated, my opinion.
Who?
Tim David.
Now that 415 is for Afghanistan, Sri Lanka
No, I
between those
mean
two
like
games.
this innings. I still think is overrated as a player, really.
You could say he's inconsistent, perhaps, and really getting to grips with everything, but I wouldn't call him, overrated in any way. I think he obviously will, you know, um, he has a lot of improvement to do. He has to be more consistent, but he will be a fixture in these limited overs teams. Mark my words.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't think there's any other cricket going on. I know the PSL is going on, but don't pay much attention to that. I think that's really that's IPL is starting. When's the IPL starting? Um, Fuel fixtures. Has they been given a date for IPL or not yet?
I'm pretty certain there is a date. We just have to,
IPL 2024. Let's see. It start when 22nd of March, so about a month away. Let's see what happens. Yeah, money. Oh, you need to protect that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um,
nothing really. I will obviously, deal with that. But is there anything
uh,
more that we have to discuss?
no, we're really going to end it here. So um, I can quickly share it to socials.
Yep. Of course, I am off social media for the period of Lent, and I will be back on Easter Sunday. By that time, the IPL would have had a few games played, but just type this name in, Manny Thangadurai, and you'll find me on Instagram and Twitter and Threads and Facebook, if you like. For the moment, catch me here on Coach's Corner, Oris Talks Football, Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV. I'm doing a watch along for the Arsenal game with Danny AFC TV, so if you could look that up and see me and possibly join in, I will be happy to entertain you. Also, Del Boy Gunner TV, up the shows in all departments. Eugen Spurs Asia TV, AFC Talk Show TV, Football United, Rich Sports, and also Northside LDN, Old School Gunner, and quite a few others that I can't really name at the moment. But I will obviously continue to be active on YouTube as often as I can. And I do enjoy doing this. And I always say that we have to treat each other the way that we would like to be treated. If we can't agree to disagree without being disagreeable, there's no point in having a discussion. So let's treat each other with more respect. Nothing much else to say. Enjoy the football coming up midweek and also over the weekend. Be safe, be happy, take care of yourselves, enjoy, and don't do anything that. Uh, yeah, not with Kenny, Aaron. I'm actually doing another stream with another YouTuber for the Arsenal game, but I will
Can you quickly say the
obviously.
name? Say the
Hmm?
name again. Danny. What's
It's
his name?
Danny AFC TV.
Danny AFC TV. So if you want to check him out, you can. Um, and then yeah. As of course socials, you guys know really. But before I do that, smash a like, subscribe, share the channel if you haven't already. So close to 600 subs. Madness. To think. And then what else? Might do a Liverpool, Luton, or or um or let you guys know. That's why you can follow me on my socials to stay up to date with the content. Instagram _coach_corner, Twitter 7083 0030, and then TikTok Coach Corner 1. So yeah, be up yourselves. See you all in a bit. Cheers.